Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Keeping It Real Local Network. You hear it? Late night with Chett. Chett Bland. He's a sous chef at the at Charles Court, the Broadmoor Hotel. Chett Bland, culinary prodigy. A pleasure to have you on your own show, my man. Tip the glass. So how you been, brother?
I've been good. It's a pleasure to be back. It's been a hell of a week with Christmas and everything else and the holidays all around the corner. But
Oh, sorry about that, buddy. Just had to stoke the fire. So tell me about what happened this week at
I'll tell you, man, Santa Claus is pretty good to me. He brought me a new fish account.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah,
where's this
shit.
fish account out of?
It's a new company we're using called Triard. Used to use them a long time ago. They're right out of Florida in Everglades City. Product's been amazing.
Where are they sending you?
On the first shipment I got in, I got these royal red shrimp, fresh squid from Savannah, Georgia, and some Scottish salmon. Everything is pretty optimum. Made me pretty happy. Excited to
Well,
work
that's
with them.
exciting. So, what kind of dishes are you making with all these fresh ingredients?
What's the thing, when I saw the quality of the shrimp, I mean, you can literally eat them raw because they're harvested at such a low depth. They're 200 feet, and they're just have such a high sugar content and low salinity. And automatically, I thought about cooking Basque, so we made pickerel.
Pipperod. Check. Can you tell everybody what pipperod is?
Pickerel is one of the most popular dishes in the Basque and Gascon region. It's very simplistic to make. It consists of 4 ingredients: peppers, tomatoes, onions, and most importantly, pimenta espelette.
What's that for?
Pimenta espelette is a French paprika. It's really, really, really hard to come by. It's a little bit easier nowadays, but in the year 2000, the French put an AOC on it, kind of like a wine or Roquefort cheese or something. So it has to come from a certain area and region for it to be a
So,
true
what'd you make
espelette.
this pipperod with? The
Well,
shrimp?
for the pepperoni, I used a lot of different shellfish, and yes, we used the shrimp obviously because that was a sweetener of the dish, but the real base to it itself is the broth. The broth it has to consist of some type of ham. A lot of people use prosciutto, serrano, Bayonne ham. We make our own country ham in-house, so that was the base of it. That's where all the salinity comes from in the broth that we served it with. Outside of that, though, is the peppers for the sweetness, stewed at really, really low temperatures from the ham fat, and you added the espelette dry. That way, when you add your liquids and your acids, everything pulls out in the finish line. You can really taste the espelette in the end. It should have a little bit of heat to it, but it shouldn't be overbearing. But in terms of shellfish, I did use, in fact, royal red shrimp. Then I olive oil poached the Savannah squid just in really simple, basic olive oil, cooking oil. Nothing special, but we also used a little bit of grains of paradise, coriander, fresh thyme,
Hey,
and lemon peel.
let me just cut to the shot of this broth. So, Chet, can you tell us about finishing the pipperod and how you played it?
Of course, what we do is we take a small sautoir and we place the poached shellfish inside it along with the broth, and then we gently bring it back up, simmering it, and it's finished with piquillo peppers and different textures of peppers. Some are roasted and some are raw, ice tempered in sheets. Outside of that, we adjust the acid with a little bit of Bangles vinegar, and then we give a little bit of heaviness to it and a little bit of grassiness using peacholine olive oil. From there, in the bottom of the bowl that the guests get presented to, there's a chiffonade of raw parsley and chive and chervil in the bottom, so you pour the hot broth in there to steep. That way, as it's coming in, the dish is actually developing as it reaches the
So,
guest.
traditional pipperod or Chet's take on a pipperod. So, Chet, I know you're always furthering your education and keeping up with new trends and new chefs. And who are you following this week?
Actually, this week I'm going a little backwards. I'm going back to the 80s, and right now I'm reading a book by Pierre Kaufman. It's called Memories of Gascony. It's amazing. It's his second book after Le Temps Clair came out. I can hold it up for you guys. The thing I enjoy about this book the most, the fact that it's more about his life and involvement in food, not just a cookbook. It's a little bit more to it. It's his personal vision and thought
Right.
process.
Well, didn't Marco Pierre White apprentice under Pierre Kaufman?
Yeah, Marco Pierre White spent quite a while in Pierre Kaufman's kitchen, along with a newer guy that's kind of popping off. Tom Aiken spent quite a while. with Pierre as
And
well.
what about the Roux brothers? I know they fall into that same kind of area.
Yeah, well, Michael Pierre White worked for the Roux brothers as well. Most of the, successful chefs in the early 90s, but most of them started out as the Roux brothers. I actually had the pleasure of cooking for Albert when we were in San Francisco. He's an amazing man, really, really, just truly amazing. And his sons run the restaurants now, and they're keeping it at its standards. Still holds 3 Michelin stars, and it's still there. It's because, the education just keeps getting passed down from generation to generation from what these men
up.
do.
And, it's all about asking questions, learning here, learning from each other, learning from books. All right, Chett, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Hey, man, looking forward to it. Stay warm in Texas.
Is there any other way, man? It's hot down here, brother.
Take care.
All right, peace.